liquid water. And then energy. What do you mean? What do you mean? I always read. Oh yeah, yeah, my camera's flipped. It just doesn't look as good when I'm looking away from it, you know? When I look over here to look at the chat, I make sure to put the chat under the camera so that way I have to look at you all. Because I could put the chat over on my other screen over here, but then look how far over I have to look. Whereas this way I actually look like I'm talking to you a little bit more, you know? I'm like kind of looking towards the camera, you know what I mean? But having this over here where I had it before was gonna block stuff, so had to move. Yeah, smart. I do my best. It happens occasionally that I do smart things. A lot of awards in this one. We're in top for the week, so alrighty. Am I the asshole for not taking down my video that was a gift from my best man? I have a sister that's 6 years older than me. My parents for years cancel on me last minute because of my sister. I have a basketball game. Oops, sorry, sister doesn't feel like going out. I'm graduating. Oops, sorry, sister had a bad day at work. They've missed both major and smaller events in my life because of her meltdowns. Those are people you need to cut out of your life. I met the love of my life, and we decided to tie the knot. From the beginning, I told my parents how I'm worried my sister will ruin another special moment in my life. My mom told me over and over again how it would not happen. The day of my wedding, I received a voicemail from my mom saying she couldn't come because my sister's dog was sick and she was upset. You're kidding, right? You're gonna miss your son's wedding because your daughter's dog is sick. You have really shitty parents. I hope you cut them out of your life because you don't need this kind of toxicity in your life. I was hurt. My best man, however, is a jokester. He took my phone and went to my fiance and asked if he could post a video of our wedding as a gift on social media. She loved his idea. I had no idea about it until I came home. Our honeymoon was at Lakeside Cabin, no cell service. The post caption was, "My best friend. He's an amazing person even if his parents never showed up for him." Video was still pictures of us next to her parents, me on the dance floor, cutting the cake, where you would normally see both parents in wedding pictures. The sound behind the video was my mom's voicemail explaining how they couldn't come because my sister's dog was sick. That's amazing. Honestly, that's a true best friend right there. That's fucking lovely. I love that. I came home a week later to hundreds of messages, family members from both sides insisting I take it down. I was told my sister hadn't stopped crying. My mom is refusing to leave the house. This is honestly really good. Maybe I'm the asshole. I may be the asshole here. I didn't take it down when I got my messages. I didn't call my family back right away. I waited until my vacation time was over at work and enjoyed my time with my wife in our new home before I contacted anyone. As you should. As you should. My dad told me to take down the video. It was just a bad night for them, and they will make it up to me and my wife for not coming. My reply was exactly, how do you plan to make up my wedding? It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You chose to ignore my feelings on the whole matter. Then he just repeated he will make it up to me. I told him I would take down the video only when he made up missing my wedding. Flustered, we both hung up the phone before we both said things we shouldn't have. Am I the asshole here? Absolutely not. You have absolute garbage parents, and you need to cut them out of your life. Your sister, too. Because that's, no. Divorce. Divorce from your parents. The truth hurts sometimes, and your parents and sister just got whammied. Your friend is awesome. Please leave the video up. Not the asshole. They were finally called out on their blatant favoritism, and they obviously didn't take it well. I'd hold off inviting them anywhere or to anything, OP, at least for a while. Don't make them your first priority when you clearly aren't theirs. Focus on your new wife and your absolutely awesome best friend. They both sound like keepers. What is NC? No contact? I think that's what NC means, no contact. Someone said, if my sister was 6 years older than me, it should be no contact worthy. If she was 4 and the family pet was dying, it may be understandable, but as a grown-ass woman needing both her parents to be consoled because her dog wasn't well, Jesus. Blatant golden child to black sheep bullshit going on there. Daughter gets pandered and spoiled since her birth to the point of her taking it absolutely for granted. Son gets neglected and emotionally abused to the point of him knowing better than to expect anything from his parents at all. Not the asshole. I think I'm in love with the best man. He absolutely showed your parents' favoritism and hypocrisy in the best way ever. I hope there will never be an invite to a baby shower, etc. How is the music still loud? It's literally on 3. Look. Look, it's on 3. 28. Look how loud that is. I think NC means no contact. Weddings are a once in a lifetime thing. Me with 2 divorces under my belt. Yeah, I love the blood is thicker than water. Change the system volume. Well, that would change the entire desktop audio, not just the music audio. And I don't want to change all of the audio unless, hold on. Yeah, I can't make it really any louder. But it's easier to control it from the application than it is to control it from this, so. Because I haven't maxed out on the... Like, literally, this is... 1, 5, 9, 14. It changes so quickly. Yeah, groove music was listed, but that's the thing. It's easier to control it. Not what I wanted to open. Go away. Open sound settings. No, volume mixer. That's what I want. Okay, so I turned up the app settings to 35. And I turned, look how far down I turned it. That's a lot. Well, I should have better control over it now then. Although it essentially just goes to nothing at 9, but it does, yeah, because the OBS is capturing the desktop audio, all of the audio that plays over the desktop. So I'm still tired, even though I've been going to bed at a reasonable time the past couple nights, so... Oh well. Alrighty. Well, this is definitely not the asshole. Alright. Am I the asshole for forcing my father to pay child support? Doesn't sound like it to me, but let's hear the details. My father is a dick. Understandable. When he got my mother pregnant, he wanted her to quit her job and just stay home to, quote, be a good little wife and mother. He is very well off due to a trust fund and he doesn't really need to work. My mother refused and divorced him. Because of a prenup, she got very little and he moved back to Europe. His parents never knew about me and my mother had a good profession and I never really wanted anything from him. And I never really wanted for anything. My grandmother and grandfather, her mom and dad, were awesome, and I got to spend my summers exploring the wilds of Western Canada with them. My father never paid the child support he should have. Like I said, it didn't really matter. My mom makes good money, and she gave me a great life as a child. So the point of this post. I am 28 female getting married. I met the love of my life, 31 male, at university, and we've been together for 8 years. He's a wonderful person, and he really is my lobster. I don't watch Friends. His family is from the same city as my father, and they are a huge, rambunctious bunch. What are the odds of that? Because of a lot of intermingled business and personal relationships, my parental grandparents found out about my impending wedding, and me, I suppose. They have been in contact and want to come to Canada to meet me and my fiance, who I guess is a grandson of an acquaintance of theirs. Small world. When they found out that my father had basically abandoned me to fend for myself in this world, this is honestly how they see it, they were pissed to say the least. It's very funny because we are decidedly upper middle class here. So long story short, they had their lawyer calculate the amount of child support my father would have paid with interest and the cost of my post-secondary education. They then gave me this as a gift. What I didn't know was that it came out of my father's yearly draw on his trust fund. Oh, that's amazing. He's furious because it is obviously a sizable amount and will very much affect his finances for at least the next 2 years. He may need to, get a job. He's been contacting me and telling me that his current wife and children will be negatively affected if I don't give him back the money. I don't really need it, and I guess I'm entitled to it, and I'm getting a trust fund now as well, but I really want to pay off any debt my mother might have and make sure that she retires and she can do whatever suits her fancy. I am not giving it back. Oh yeah, Premiere is the pain in the ass. OBS generally works fine. It just when it changes my settings for no reason that it bothers me. Very upper, don't think that's upper middle. Yeah, it might just be upper class, to be honest. I mean, they would be full upper class if they had their dad's finances this whole time, but it sounds like with the grandparents involved now, it's very much an upper class family, or the paternal grandparents involved now. If it wasn't before, it definitely is now. Okay, edit to answer some common questions. My half-siblings will not really be affected. They have trust funds set up already, and their tuitions and fees and stuff are covered. My grandparents' family set these up when the kid was born. Sorry, my nose stuffed up. One of the reasons my father was upset is because since he didn't bother to tell his parents about me, they did not set this up. They have since taken a good chunk of his trust fund and used it to set mine up. Realistically, the principal being separated 28 years ago would have left him in the exact same position. My mom was working on getting her PhD so she could help kids with a certain condition. That is what he wanted her to walk away from. 4, my grandparents have sent me pictures of my family there. The coolest thing is that my grandfather looks like the granddad from The Parent Trap. Nice. 5, my mom never remarried, but she is a special friend since I was 5. He's amazing and taught me to swear in Colombian Spanish. Nice. I just had lunch with my mom. Apparently she has no debt, like at all. I guess she did literally write the book about treatment for the kids she works with, since she does okay for herself. I never really thought about it. We decided that what would be best is to set up a scholarship for people who want to go into her field of study. Since I am now a transfundian, I can afford to do this. I am, however, going to book her and her friend a trip for my wedding, and I'm going to pay off my car. My half-brother has posted about this. He has a slightly different viewpoint than myself. He's not in any way coming after myself or my mother. If you comment there, keep in mind he's a young man who's disillusioned by his father. Oh no, Colombia. Yeah. Okay, so she's definitely upper class now if they can afford to set up a fucking scholarship fund. Only upper class people are able to afford to do that. Even upper middle class struggle to do that. So, yeah, this is rich people problems, but you know. But I support it. I think the embarrassment is part of being British. The grandparents are coming over next week, and I am looking forward to meeting them. They're coming to my wedding. They are super embarrassed that they weren't there for me growing up. Totally not their fault, but I think the embarrassment is part of being British. I had one, and I'm poor now. Takes a lot of money to open a trust fund. Yeah. I don't really know a lot about trust funds because I've obviously never been part of one or benefited from one or had one or any of that stuff. So there's a hair trying to stab me in the eye. I don't appreciate that. You know. Not the asshole. Your grandparents won't accept it back anyway. It's your grandparents' money to use however they wish. They've decided to gift it to their grandchild, not their lazy ass son. Yeah, the trust fund isn't his money, it's his parents' money. They can give or take that at any time they want. And they wanted to take it from him and give it to you. That's 100% their right. Your father is actually angry with them, but he's also a coward. He knows that any anger he directs at them may end up with him being cut off completely. It's time to shut him up. Let him know that if he keeps harassing you, you'll show his texts and emails and calls to his parents. Ask him how he thinks they'd react to his actions. Keep the money. Just because you don't need a thing doesn't make it wrong to have it. Pay off your debt, buy a home, make your new life with your husband that much easier. Save and invest it for your children if you want. Your grandparents want you to have their money. Let it be. I'd snitch even if you didn't keep harassing me. Yeah, she could totally set up like a savings bond or something for her kids to go to school if she decides she wants to have them. Like put all that money in a savings account and just let it collect interest for the next 20 years or something, and then you have money to retire off of, you know. I think in the UK you need a minimum of 100k to open one. Even then I reckon it's a low bar. Imagine having 100k. Go wild with the money, make sure he knows exactly how wild. I'm probably going to pay off my mom's mortgage and invest the rest. But you're no fun. I don't know, paying off his ex's mortgage will probably piss him off the most. Yeah. That's good. That's a good one. Oh boy. We're gonna have a get in the bin moment here. Are we gonna have to get this dumbass man in the bin? That's what's gonna have to happen. I still never made that into a button. Hold on. Put it all on red, and by red I mean Tesla. I'll never understand people who know how to invest in like the stock market and stuff, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. That, and I've never had the money necessary to like the disposable money to just throw somewhere and hope it sticks and gets better, you know? Like I've never had the money for that. So, and at any time that I might have had the money for that, I don't know how to use the money for that.
Get in a bit.
Oh, it's already like that. Okay. Just wondering why it was weirdly offset.
In the bin. In the bin, in the bin, in the bin, into the bin. handle today, otherwise I'll throw my neck out. Completely out, girls, in the bin. So during the out, girls, in the bin. So during girls in the bin. Girls in the bin. So during the girls in the in the bin. Get in the bin. Take it. And that get in the bin. And that is vile, and I'm glad that she's in the bin.
In the bin, girls.
In the bin.
In the bin, girls. Yeah, awful. Awful,
Gout,
awful.
absolute-
You are not the
You
arsehole.
are not the arsehole.
Awful,
Gout,
awful.
absolute-
You are not the
You
arsehole.
are not the arsehole.
Girls, yeah, awful. Awful,
Gout.
awful. Girls, yeah, awful.
Immediately stab, behead. Behead in the bin. In the bin, in the bin, in the bin. In the bin.
Okay, now we're gonna pick the best one.
In the bin.
I don't. Okay, so like TMI maybe, but the only reason I came back home after running away was at 13 was because my papa said I could access my fund early. He of course lied. Jimmy said about investments. I don't. I just follow it so much that I can only see upsides. There are very few issues. Otherwise, I just put it in an index fund at the top of the 250, 500 companies. See, I don't know what any of that means. So, package is 10 stops away. Okay, what does that mean?
In the bin. In the bin. In the bin. In the bin. Into the bin. It's in the bin. Get in the bin. In the bin.
In the bin, girls. Yeah, awful.
6 stops away still. Okay.
It's in the bin. Get in the bin.
There's just so many good variations.
In the bin. In the bin. Into the bin. It's in the bin. Get in the bin. It's in the bin. It's in the.
I think I like this one. Format. MP3. Desktop. Okay, this shouldn't make it lag. Yeah, because it should take exactly 2 seconds to export.
In the bin. In the bin. Into the bin.
I showed him, though, I dropped out of high school a second time and then immediately got into porn. Nice. Index funds are just the top companies in S&P 500. The higher up the list, the higher percentage you are investing into them. Thus, your investments are spread out over the entire market, making it lower risk. If you say so.
In the bin. In the bin. In the bin. In the bin. Into the bin. It's in the bin.
Get in the bin.
It's in the bin. Get in the bin. In the bin.
Okay, I think that's good. We can close that. And then I need to open this. What is this listed as? Soundboard, okay. Soundboard, play audio, file. Desktop. What background is this? Why does it look greener than the others? I'm confused. Oh, here it is. There we go. It's the best way to start investing. Well, it's good to know.
It's in the bin. It's in the bin. It's in the bin. It's in the bin.
I don't like it as much in button form. Hold on. Wed the moment. EA Sports. It's in the bin. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Also, hello, rookie. Welcome in. We'll get back to Am I the Asshole in just a moment. Just finally doing something I've been meaning to do.
Get in the bin.
In the bin, in the bin, go.
It's in the bin. Get in. It's in the. It's in the bin. Get in the bin. It's in the bin. Get in the bin.
In the bin.
Get in the bin. Get in the bin.
In.
Bin. Get in the bin.
I think get in the bin.
In the bin. In the bin. In the bin. In the bin. Into the bin. It's in the bin. Get in the bin.
I like get in the bin. I think we might. Let's do that one.
Get in the bin.
Quick ADHD pit stop. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Why did it take me back here?
Get in the bin. Get in the bin. Get in the bin.
It's still quite quiet.
Get in the bin. It's in the bin.
Let's see how it sounds without the fucking music playing.
Get in the bin. It's in the bin.
Is that loud enough? Does that sound loud to you all?
Get in the bin.
Because it doesn't sound very loud to me, but I also kind of changed my volume on the microphone, so... That sound loud enough for you all?
Get in the bin.
It's kind of quiet. That's what I thought. Thought it sounded wrong. Gonna have to up it in Premiere. It's not inaudible or anything. Okay, I'll only boost it a little bit. I just wanted to actually be, you know, audible. It's supposed to sound like an alert, essentially, like...
That must be super fucking hard for you.
Like, you know.
In the bin.
I'm actually gonna turn that up even more.
Get in the bin.
And then I can turn it down in the button, so... Being hard to get along with. It's not open in Streamlabs. You're fucking lying. I fucking closed it in Streamlabs. Fucking dumbass fucking computer. It'll be get in the bin 1. It's kind of warm.
Get in the bin.
That's the right size. Size? Volume. That's the right volume.
Get in the bin. It's in the bin. Get in the bin. It's in the bin.
I was born this way. Born as a fucking idiot. I was born this way.
Okay.
Born as a fucking idiot. That must be super fucking hard for you.
It's in the bin. Get in the bin.
There we go. We've added to the soundboard. Mission complete. It's not open in Stream Deck. Let me delete the goddamn file. It's not. It's not open in Stream Deck. I need to add that one too. That's important. It's long. It's longer. It's nice. Nope. Nope. There we go. It keeps taking me back here, and that's really fucking annoying.
In the bin, in the bin, in the bin, into the bin.
There we go. That's quiet now. Well, yeah, it was playing through my music player instead of through Streamlabs Stream Deck.
In the bin, in the bin, in the bin, into the bin.
Yeah. These buttons were made exclusively pretty much for Am I the Asshole, in my opinion. So my best friend told me I'm paranoid, but I'm not sure that I trust her. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. Let me open the door a little bit. It's a little toasty in here. Getting a little toasty. I can't wait for it to be fall. So then that way I don't have to deal with this bullshit. Because this room doesn't get cold. It's always warm, even during the winter. Like, even when there was snow on the ground last year, it was still warm in here. The bottom is always cut off. That's kind of weird. That's the only spot where it's not super cut off. Weird. My dad sent me this a few days ago, but it's a bit outdated. I walked down the road where all the houses were numbered. Oh, sorry. 64K, 128K, 256K, 512K, and 1 And B, that was a trip down memory lane. Nice. Initially, my brain thought it was going to be Prices of the House, and then I saw MB, and I was like, oh, no, that's not it. Can I buy that joke from your dad? For just 64K, you can. Alright. Am I the asshole for crying to my husband? My 18-year-old son, Eric, just graduated from high school. I'm very proud of him because he has ADHD, and school's always been a struggle for him. But he's going to college, and his future is promising. I was out with my 2 girlfriends, and we both have children the same age as Eric. Well, I excused myself to the washroom, and we're in Canada. And right before I was about to go back to the room, I overheard one of them say that I must be so disappointed in Eric, disappointed because he's not studying law or medicine, etc., like their kids. This got my attention, and I kept listening. They continued to talk about how he barely graduated, and then they made a few odd jokes about how Eric's probably going to follow in my footsteps and marry a rich older lady. They talked about my son's reputation and laughed about how he clearly cares more about his face than his future, just like his mother. Some shitty fucking friends. This hurt me a lot, and I was heartbroken. Not only were they insulting me, but my son as well. I walked into the room, and they went silent, but acted as if they weren't just shit-talking. I didn't mention it, and simply decided to never hang out with them ever again. Fair. You know what she did with them? You know where she put them?
In the bin, in the bin, in the bin, into the bin.
That's what you do with friends like that. That's where they go. All right. When I got home, my husband asked me if anything was wrong, and I just began to cry and told him everything. I've been friends with them for a year, and gosh, I don't even know. Okay, I don't know what gosh, I don't even know means. This is like a podcast now. Basically, yeah. He was really angry. He had invited them and their families to go on a quick 2-day trip, and he called their husbands and canceled. When they asked why, he told them there was no way in hell he was paying to take 2 bitter, mean girls to insult his wife and son on vacation. Well, I got a call from the 2, and they were really upset. They said that I need to tell them to rethink his decision, and that they were just joking around because their kids were really looking forward to the trip. I told them that I didn't want to, but they said that I should have talked to them instead of crying to my husband like a weak-ass bitch. I told them to fuck off, and they replied with, "This is exactly why we hate you. Wait, sorry, are you going to cry to your husband again?" That stung a little, and now I'm wondering, am I the asshole for not being straight up and crying to my husband instead? The 2 think I am, and my sister agrees that I should have dealt with it myself. I went too far telling my husband. Well, if he was the one paying for the trip, he kind of needed to know. And also, that's kind of the point of having a partner, is you're supposed to go to them for things. So, you know? Edit. I'm a bit overwhelmed by how many comments this post has gotten, but I want to thank you all. Also, a lot of people are saying that this is there is no way I seriously think I'm an asshole, but my sister telling me that I acted weakly made me doubtful. I mean, it's my sister. I tell her everything. A lot of my previous friends also used to say similar things about me regarding my husband, so after a while, you start to wonder if you're the problem. Also, some people think this is fake because of the words I used or how it was written. My daughter actually helped me write this out. She's 20, so she's pretty young, and I was a bit out of it because this happened so recently, so there's that. Either way, I still want to thank you guys for being so kind. My heart is bursting with joy, and I haven't felt this kind of relief in a while. I think I'd feel relieved by having those kinds of quote-unquote friends out of my life, because they sound like ass. Complete assholes. Yeah, block them and never think about it again. Girls legit just sound jealous of OP's husband. Notice how all their attacks and complaints revolve around OP's interacting with her husband. They're just mad she's a wonderful and supportive partner, and they got exposed, so they can't take advantage of OP's husband now. See, with the title, I thought the husband was going to be mad at her for crying to him. No, it was she got in trouble because she told on her friends to her husband, and her husband canceled the appointment or the vacation he was going to pay for. So I was expecting to have to put the husband in the bin, but it turns out the friends are in the bin. It's appropriate.
Get in the bin.
Yeah. No, you have shitty friends. Cutting them out is the best decision you can make. Take that bin back. Never. Never. Wish I was wearing my in the bin shirt. I have Luxaria merch that says get in the bin. I have this shirt. It's beautiful, and I love it. Except I have it in this color, so. Luxaria has brought a lot of joy to my life, so when I come across a YouTuber or a Twitch creator or someone like that that consistently for a long period of time brings me constant joy, I feel like I should buy something from them, give them some of my money, you know, because, you know, they made me happy and they brought joy to my life. So why wouldn't I support them in their endeavors and their lives, even if they don't necessarily need my money, like buying, like I haven't bought any, but like, oh, well, I bought some cloak stuff, which is Markiplier's brand that he owns with a few other people. I've bought a couple things from his cloak brand, which is his clothing brand. It's not necessarily merch, it's a clothing brand. But the stuff from Cloak is expensive, but really high quality, which is why I can, which is why I'm fine with spending that kind of money on it. I've also only ever bought from the Pride collection during Pride Month, because their Pride merch is sometimes really cute. I've bought a couple pairs of sweatpants from them for Pride, 2 separate years, I believe. I bought a bunch of Unis Honest stuff back when Unis Honest was a thing. That wasn't necessarily because they brought me joy, even though they did. That was mostly because they brought me joy. The merch was really cool, and it's a limited time thing, just like the channel was. I don't buy merch too terribly often, to be completely honest. It's very rare. Like, I've got a couple things from Philip DeFranco's clothing company. Again, not really merch. It's more like it's a clothing company more than it is merch, but it kind of doubles as both sometimes. Because again, really high quality stuff, and the designs are usually pretty cool. Because when it's a clothing company, they usually have a design team instead of it just being like, I mean, obviously the Luxaria merch has a cool design on it, but I would be willing to bet that it was a design that she made or hired an artist to make, and it's not like a team of people that spend hours and hours and that's their job to just, you know, design the merch and plan the merch and all that stuff, which doesn't make it any less good, obviously. I think merch is the best way to support a creator outside of just straight out donating. And if they don't stream, it's hard to just straight up hand them $20, you know? Plus, if you pay for their merch, you get merch and they get your money. So it's a win-win. You both kind of get something. So Linus Tech Tips merch is all I have. I only got it because it's the only computer-themed clothes I knew of. They also offered free shipping, so it was a no-brainer. Yeah, I don't remember if the Luxaria stuff had shipping or not. But I'm going to have Max get me this U2s of Chad's U2s. It's so cute. Oh, my God. Because I absolutely love Chad. I wish she posted more often, but every single video I've watched of hers has made me laugh my fucking ass off. I love Chad. But this comes out in a few days, comes out in 9 days, and I think I'm going to have Max get it for me for Christmas, since it's not going to ship until Christmas, and then have them get me the first Walking Dead comic compendium for my birthday. Not really. Yeah. With shipping, it basically doubles the cost unless you buy a ton. Yeah. Which is why, like, when we get merch, especially from Phil, because his stuff's really expensive. I mean, it's not really that much more expensive than any other, like, buying a hoodie from any other merch place. Oh, we've got some Kurt's merch as well, because their merch is always really, really cute and really, like, well designed and everything. But I don't know if Chad has, like, actual merch, but look how cute this thing is. Like, I've never really seen a U2's that's, like, actually has, like, hair, you know? And I just love Chad. She is very entertaining and has no right to be that entertaining, to be completely honest with you. But I found out about this literally as I was going to bed last night. And I was like, oh, Max. Because Max just mentioned, like, hey, I need to know what you want for your birthday. Let me know whenever you figure that out. And I think I want this for Christmas, because, again, it's not going to ship till December. Because from my knowledge, the way U2's works is they put it on pre-order, and during that pre-order time, as many people can order it as possible, and then they make them all outside of the like standard basic, like however many they make at the very beginning to like sell. Like they'll maybe make like 100 or something to start with, and then they make the rest of them after that, so they don't end up making more than they can sell, because usually U2s are a limited time thing. So like they'll, like you can only pre-order it for a few days or something, and then it goes away forever, that kind of stuff. I think a couple of the U2s are on here permanently, but most of them are like, get it for a few days, you know, but they're really expensive. This is $30, but a portion of that goes to U2s and a portion of that goes to Chad. So, you know, that's why things like this get expensive, because if you make your merch through a separate like company, essentially, it's going to cost more because the company's going to want some money and you're going to want some money from it. Whereas if you buy straight from like Cloak brand or Beautiful Bastards, like it's going to cost a little bit less, because it all goes into the same channel, because it's a clothing brand that people can buy from even if they don't know the creators, you know. That's one of the things I like about Cloak brand, even though they make really interesting clothes sometimes, is that it's a number of creators involved with it, but they have a lot of different designs, and obviously they have these weird cloaks, but like they always have new designs coming out, and there's a bunch of different creators involved in it. This seems to be their current ones. Ooh, they have shoes now? Who would have guessed? Oh, that robe looks really cozy. If I wore robes. Yeah. ITT has their own store. Nice. I encourage fans to make their own and just show me at shows for like solidarity. People come up with really awesome shit, right? Like if I ever had like a following even half as big as like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye, I would let the fans design my merch and give them a portion of the proceeds, because some of the fan art that these people make for these channels is better than any of the art these people could come with on their own. Oh, that hat is actually really cool. If it didn't have the mesh in the back, I'd think about it, but because I like the boxy hats because it helps me pass. But I also love these shorts are really cool as well. They're all sold out, but you know. But I love these kinds of shorts. These are the shorts that I wear on a regular basis. These, not these specific ones, but these like cotton polyester Berlin jogger shorts. It's the ones I bought from Philip DeFranco. This is their current stuff. Like this one I think is always in here, I think. But then they come out with new drops here and there. It seems they're not in the middle of a drop at the moment. But it's one of those, like, they'll drop the merch and then they'll sell that specific design for a little while and then that design goes away forever. But they are really inclusive with sizing here. I was watching a thing about it yesterday. Like he was talking about it in yesterday's show about how long it took them to get 3X sizes for the Beautiful Bastard drops. And when they did, their sales went up like 20%, because 3X people were able to finally buy their clothes. Which I think is kind of funny because, I mean, I don't know how big Philip has ever gotten. Like, I don't know how big Phil ever got. Like, 3X, 2X, I don't know how big he ever got in his life. But he's not a skinny dude, you know? He's not, like, itty-bitty baby, you know, like me. He's not, like, bone thin. So he probably has to buy XL clothes because, you know... I think that's more TMI than the earlier one. Oh no, well yeah, you were censored because you put the word dildo in your comment. So like the way I have it, people will send me shirts with like my logo and shit, but from their design, like no money is made, and it's a weird flip where instead of me selling fan shit, fans give me my own shit that their way. That's nice. Like a PO box type thing where people send you fan art and stuff. Just buying normal clothes isn't enough. Yeah. But yeah, I don't buy merch very often, especially right now because I don't have any money. But I wish I could have bought like essentially one of all of the Unis Honest merches because I mean, I didn't love every merch design, but there were some merch designs that I just couldn't afford at the time, and it was really sad when they went away. But that's obviously part of it. That's just part of how a lot of merch drops work, is they're limited time. And if you don't have the money for it, you don't have the money for it. Ethan's merch is really cute usually as well. Not this is ugly. But like these are cute. The shirt's really nice. And like it's $35 because they've got to pay for production of what is, from my knowledge, high quality stuff. And $45 for joggers is normal price anywhere. $65 for a hoodie is only slightly more expensive than it would be if you bought it from like a retail store. So like I've never found overpriced joggers on any of these merch sites. Because $45 for joggers is pretty common. Especially if they've got like a special design on them. But he has this right now because it's his 10-year anniversary poster. And I saw a lot of people being like, oh, I wish I could buy it, but I don't have the money right now and stuff like that. But this is a limited release because he's celebrating his 10 years on YouTube, you know. And, you know, like it was like a big thing that he was posting a video every single day for the month of August. And then had his 10-year anniversary like the other day. And I like the like coloring on this shirt. I really wanted on like Pluto merch, but he would never fucking restock it. And he said recently he was gonna do new merch. I want this shirt, but it's been sold out for months, and he's not restocked it. Oh well. But also when it's like merch, I don't mind paying a little bit more for like a t-shirt than I would going to like Old Navy and buying a t-shirt, you know? Because it's merch. It's supporting a creator that I like, that brings me joy and like makes my day a little better, versus Old Navy, which is just a big business retail company that wants my money. You know what I mean? So that's my little merch side rant. Package should be delivered by now. It's not. Oh, nope, it's here. Sorry, I had to scream really loud, so I couldn't. I didn't want to deafen all of you. No idea about any of these creators on my side of YouTube. That's fair. It's very much my side of YouTube. Yeah. It's really hard to make your own merch company, though, because obviously you have to build a company, which is why a lot of people do it through Streamlabs or through YouTube or through, what was the one that Luxaria's was? What is it called? Through Spring, which is a merch apparel store. They do merch. That's what they do. They sell people's merch. Because then you have a company that will produce it for you. And you don't have to create a clothing brand, you know. So I quite like my Lux merch. I wish it was a little bit softer, but I love long sleeve tees, and I think I'm going to love them even more when I don't have titties anymore. Because nothing shows off your titties like a long sleeve tee. That is a big old desk pad. driver bit set. Wow, that's a range. What? I mean, I guess you said this is a, like, they sell computer shit, so it would make sense for them to sell like little screwdriver bit sets and stuff like that to help you like take apart things and stuff like that. The lid for a water bottle. Interesting. I guess if you need a replacement top for some reason. I feel like I know these people. Where have I seen them before? Have you sent me their videos before? Cable ties, baby. Very important. Took them 3 years to design. What does it actually look like? There's no actual pictures of the bits on here, though. I'm assuming you don't mean this is what they spent years designing, because this is just what every screwdriver looks like. So I assume you mean the bit set, because this is just what every screwdriver looks like. It being perfectly balanced is nice. I mean, none of this design is really innovative, but $65 for a screwdriver seems like a lot, if you ask me. Or sorry, $70. Well, I mean, obviously you have to put time into any design. You can't just steal another person's design unless you're Amazon, so I get that, but it's not exactly fancy. Are there 4 in the pack, or are there just 4 different ones you can pick? Oh yeah, there's just different ones you can pick. The all black is nice and sleek. I was like, well, if it was $70 would make sense. That's really fucking expensive. Like, I can go to Lowe's and buy one that has all these same bits in it. Or I can buy the screwdriver and the bits separately for less than $70, so. Yeah, I have a set that I got. I guess it's nice that it can hold bits if you have bits from other sets. That's kind of cool. That's definitely not something you see very often. Because this is very clearly not from this bit set, as it is rusty and used, as you can tell, compared to those new sleek black ones. I mean, it's always, the ratcheting sound is lovely, obviously. It's required. When they don't have that, I'm like, why would I buy this, you know? I'm not convinced that this actually makes me feel any more awake. As someone with ADHD, caffeine does not affect me the same way it affects a lot of other people. It does taste good, though. It's the sparkling ice. It's the sparkling ice caffeine I showed you the other night. The black raspberry flavor. Yeah. Yeah, this is the only energy drinks I really drink nowadays. Because they have... This can holds half as much of... As in a can of Monster. So... And I usually only drink these half at a time. So... Because caffeine makes me jittery, so... Which is less fun than being tired, so... Yeah, absolutely. I drank a lot more energy drinks during college, so a lot more during college. All right, cool. No worries. I'll be here. Probably for another hour, because I don't know when Max gets off work. We could probably raid Joel's after. Because I'm sure he'll be live longer than me. He's playing a game that would make me motion sick. I just know it would. I just know it would, you know. Alrighty. Am I the asshole for laughing in my mother's friend's face when she told me to go to my room? I, 25 female, don't speak to my mother, like at all. I had to go to my mother's house today to pick up an important document that I left behind when I moved out 7 years ago. As soon as I got to the house, my mother suddenly had a massive emergency and realized that it was apparently her friend's funeral today. How do you forget about your friend's funeral? I assume the mods have exclusive post rights to Am I the Asshole filtered? I mean, maybe. Not sure. Apparently it was her friend's funeral today, and she completely forgot about it. I couldn't help but internally roll my eyes, as there's always some drama, hence why I've gone no to very low contact. She asked me if I would watch my 2 younger brothers 7 and 11 while she went to the funeral, and I said absolutely not. It is my only day off, and I have plans, and I have no relationship with them due to my mother stopping them from seeing me for years. I just wanted to get my birth certificate and leave. My mother asked her friend if she would babysit and asked me to stay for 10 minutes until her friend came. I didn't even get the opportunity to say no before my mother left the house. I was seething, but resolved to wait 10 minutes. My mother's friend turned up and started berating me for not agreeing to look after my brothers whilst my mother went to the funeral. I said I don't have anything to do with my mother. It's my day off work, and I'm under no obligation to look after anyone else's children. My mother's friend told me to go to my room, and I laughed in her face and started to leave the house. And she asked me where I was going, and I told her my room at my apartment that I pay for with my big girl job because I'm an adult, not a child. Don't ever speak down to me like that again. And I left. My mother has left me loads of messages and missed calls saying that I'm an asshole for the way I spoke to her friend. I do admit I look kind of young, but I still am not happy with the way my mother's friend spoke to me. Yeah, no, your mother did not call her to babysit you and your 2 brothers. She called to her to babysit your 2 brothers. They did wait 10 minutes. They did wait the 10 minutes, which is more than they were obligated to do. She waited the 10 minutes for the mom's friend to get there and then left. So hopefully she got her birth certificate. So not the asshole. I actually quite admire your refusal to get drawn in. What do you mean they would have refused to do it? They said they wouldn't have waited given the choice, but they left. What do you mean? I didn't even get the opportunity to say no before my mother left the house. Yeah, she didn't need to wait the 10 minutes. If mom was going to be late to the funeral anyways, mom can wait 10 minutes for the friend to show up before leaving for the funeral. This person who has had no contact with her mother for a while has no obligation to do anything for her mother. But because mom left before she could say no, she's like, well, I'm not going to leave these children alone by themselves. So she stayed because she's a decent person. Even though, like I said, that is more than she should have had to do because it's not her fault. Her mom's a pile of trash, you know? The audacity to try to send someone else's adult child to their room. I would have laughed too. It really wouldn't matter if she didn't know your age. You're not the asshole now, and you haven't been the asshole if you'd have been a minor. She had no business speaking to you in that way. The fact that adults can quite often get away with behaving badly towards children because children don't usually have the ability to do what you did here doesn't mean that their behavior is good. It just means they can get away with it. She behaved like an ass, and you spanked her. Facts. Lol about going to your room. For future reference, you can get your birth certificate at the city hall in the city you were born in. You didn't need to go to your mother's house. All 50 states do not need to check in here, lol. Let me rephrase the above to say check with your local government office on how to obtain your vital records so you can get replacements for them all. I look forward to getting my name changed. It's going to take a minute, but I'm looking forward to it. I haven't had it changed yet because I'm on my parents' insurance, and I know they're not going to change my name on the insurance, although I'm going to try to talk them into it as like a birthday gift or something. Maybe next year or Christmas or something this year. Because I'm really tired of having to sign up for things with my legal name, so... But changing your legal name is just such a process. It's such an annoying process, and you have to change your name in so many different places, and it's a lot of work. My sister is finally flying back from America. They love that Dear Evan Hansen is a movie choice. Plus, they get a blanket and a decent headrest. Lol. Hopefully, it's the is it the film Dear Evan Hansen or the actual like play Dear Evan Hansen just recorded, because the movie is garbage. So. That's too bad. The movie's garbage, so... Not to mention they have What's-His-Face still playing Dear Evan Hansen in the movie, even though he looks like a 40-year-old man. So... Amanda the Jedi and Jenny Nicholson and a bunch of other people have made great videos on Dear Evan Hansen. I highly recommend the Jenny Nicholson video. I love her to death. She's so adorable and makes very high quality content. Has a lot of ones on like Star Wars and stuff too. But I watched her do a read through of like, I think it was a like scrapped script for the last Star Wars movie, and it was so funny watching her read it because she got different hats to essentially indicate which character she was speaking as. It was really funny. They said American Airlines sucked. Yeah, seems accurate. Seems accurate. I don't fly often, but from what I've heard, there's not very many good airlines in this country anyways. Okay, I want to go to the asshole one. Am I the asshole for changing the door locks back after my wife changed them? I, 30 male, have a beautiful wife who loves to serve others. We bought a home down the street from my family. I have a sweet sister, 17, who likes to crash at our house with her friends. My wife normally is pretty easygoing until recently. My sister's friends have been leaving messes, mostly towels on the floor after using our pool. While my wife got upset picking up after them every day. I have asked my sister to make sure the house is clean after they leave, and it has been better. My wife also complained that some of her perfumes or personal items have gone missing. My sister said it's not her, and I believe my sister. I just don't see her doing that. Well, it could have been your sister's friends. So, you know. Whatever. I told my wife, and she agreed to just replace them. Last week, my wife made a couple of pans of cinnamon rolls from scratch. One pan for us, the second pan was for coworkers' family who's experiencing a tragedy. There we go. My wife went to the gym, I went to work, and my sister and her friends came by. The one pan wasn't enough for her and her friends. They wanted the second pan of cinnamon rolls, and my sister texted my wife asking if they could eat them. My wife said no. They ate them anyways, and my wife, upset, went and bought new locks. as she should. When I came home, my wife handed me a new key and told me that she didn't want anyone else to have a key to our house. I tried to calm her down and tell her that I would just go replace the Eaton cinnamon rolls with store-bought ones. My wife decided that this was her hill to die on and said no, my sister lost the privilege to come when we are not home. Replacing stolen items wasn't good enough anymore. I mean, that seems pretty valid to me. I mean, the sister literally texted and asked, and then the wife said no, and they did it anyways. So that is a complete violation of trust and personal space. So, you know, she sounds like an entitled brat, to be honest. The sister does. Welcome, Max. Are you off work? My mom called and asked if my sister could use the pool as a back-to-school party. I was under the impression my mom would be there. I said yes. My mom was at work, and our schedules clashed. The easiest solution was for me to change the locks back so they could come into the house. My mom didn't come with my sister. When my wife got home after the party, it was a mess. She sent me photos, called me an asshole for changing the locks without talking to her about it. Keep in mind, she did too, and told me I broke her trust. She did tell you about it. She handed you a key, didn't she? Then told me I broke her trust. She wasn't safe in her home because she keeps getting robbed, and I refused to put an end to it. I did talk to my sister. Then my wife let me know she was staying with a friend for a while. Am I the asshole here? I feel like I've tried to right any wrongs that have happened between my wife and my sister. Update, sorry I haven't been able to reply. I've been busy. I talked to my mom again and let her know my sister isn't allowed over without me home. I asked a friend's wife who is a maid to come deep clean our home, so if or when my wife gets home, it's clean. Last thing is my mom asked me to help cover my sister's cheer. She's on track for scholarship. I told my mom I would pay half if my wife's things were returned. If not, the money was going to replace the stolen items. Also, my sister was invited to homecoming. She wanted me to buy a dress. I told her no for not following our home rules, and the money I saved for the dress is going to pay for the maid. I did replace the locks again. I also am planning a romantic dinner I will make and clean up. I heard a lot about the cinnamon rolls. Someone on here gave me the idea to make them for a dessert. All right. So it seems he's getting flamed in the comments. That's good, though. Because, yeah, it's a very dick move to do that. Update, my sister and mom left a few minutes ago. My sister has a bag of my wife's things. More than I thought was gone. Most items are in poor shape. So she was lying. Shocker. The big thing is she had my wife's grandmother's ring. I thought was in the safe. I had no idea it was gone. My sister said she found it on my wife's nightstand during the party. She forgot she had it on when she left our home. The ring isn't valuable, it's just sentimental. I told my mom who the ring belonged to. My mom lost it. My sister is now grounded. As she should be. You don't go to someone else's house and take their shit. Last update tonight. My wife is coming home. I am staying at a friend's house until we can work some of this out. I have already stated it, but I did put the locks back on that my wife bought. My family doesn't have that key. Early morning update, my mom called my wife last night and asked what my sister can do to fix or replace the damaged items. My wife said, have her meet me every morning at 5 a.m. Ooh, that's a punishment for a 17-year-old. I decided to tag along to see what my wife had planned, trying to support her in whatever punishment she decides to do. You know, the cinnamon rolls, my wife's coworker's 4-year-old is in the final stages of cancer. My wife's plan is for my sister and her to prepare breakfast, get the other kids up and ready for the day, start laundry, basic cleanup so her coworker and his wife can spend as much time as he can with this sick child before work. My sister was silent the whole time, coming back home. I could tell it really hit her that life isn't as hard, even being grounded. Last and final post, my wife has given me a second chance as long as I follow her list of rules. No family at her home for a while. No family borrowing our things. No one is allowed a key, which is fair. I help with the chores around the house, including cooking meals. And lastly, my wife is okay with me seeing my sister, but asks that we all go to counseling and understand why my sister is targeting her. My wife said that all of this has been really hard and she doesn't want to cause more issues, but she doesn't trust my sister and can't have her using our things. All of these things seem fair to me, to be honest. Your sister was literally stealing your wife's stuff and then lying about it. You're the asshole. Why don't you clean up after your sister? Yeah. Easy, you're the asshole. Your wife tried, even as her clothes got stolen. House was left a mess, making more work for her, and icing on the cake, those cinnamon rolls. Those thoughtfully made from scratch rolls for a grieving coworker and some for her family. Finally, one of the posters goes to counseling, right? made with love and care, no doubt, only to be scarfed down by careless teenagers using your home for a pool and free stuff. Your sister could have also set stronger rules to her friends, or just stop using the pool. Also, why was your sister asking your mom to ask for the pool? Why not straight up ask you or her sister-in-law? Why did you assume your mother would be present when she hasn't been any other time with these minors in your home and pool? The liability also boggles my mind. Your wife sounds like a saint. Yeah. For real, having a bunch of underage kids unsupervised at the pool is such a stupid idea. If anything happened, you'd be responsible. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's a big deal. You're the asshole. 1. Your sweet sister abuses your wife. 2. Your sister steals from your wife. 3. Your sister invites friends around who make a mess and make her feel unsafe. 4. Your wife is so scared she changed the locks to keep your sister and her bad company out. 5. You changed the locks back so your sister and her friends could continue to abuse your wife. 6. You tried to make things right only in your mind, other than extracting empty promises from your sister and mother. What did you do? 7. Your wife has left you because she doesn't feel safe in her own home or respected by her husband, and instead of solving these problems, you're begging people here to tell you you're not the asshole. Well, you're totally the asshole. Laid it out well. Nah, you're good. Can't you just hear him now? She divorced me out of nowhere, all over some cinnamon rolls. It'll be a complete mystery to him, I'm sure. Even though she just loves to serve others. Someone said I knew he was an asshole as soon as I read that line. Yeah, 17-year-olds need discipline. They do. They need to understand that they can't have whatever they want. That's not how life works, because life's about to smack them in the face with college and after college and all that, and that shit's really fucking hard regardless, but it's extra hard if you don't know how to fucking handle yourself on your own. Don't be a dingus, use Aer Lingus. Indeed, indeed. Definitely the asshole, but it seems he's trying to make things right and listening to his wife here in the updates, so that's really good. Alrighty. Am I the asshole for not inviting my kid's whole class to his birthday party? I, 28 female, am a mother of a wonderful 8-year-old son. This whole thing happened last April, but I'm still getting complaints, so here I am asking strangers for a judgment on the internet. So last year was my kid's first year in big kid school, as he likes to call it, since his first grade coincided with the pandemic. Oh, that's unfortunate. We are not in the best place financially. Like most families, our consumer debt piled on, and we are throwing every spare cent at it. So when it was time to throw him a party, I only invited 5 of his classmates, the ones he considered his friends. For the others, I sent 24 cupcakes and juice boxes to class. That seems fair. The invites were delivered to their houses and not in front of other kids. Also fair. Like I said, money was tight, so I got creative. I made 9 small cakes, box cakes, vanilla chocolate and funfetti, buttercream in different colors, and also made big sugar cookies in different colored frosting and sprinkles, and finally brought tortillas, made pizza sauce, and had a variety of toppings, and asked the kids bring swimsuits and water guns. That sounds like a fantastic birthday. We had a make-your-own pizza station for lunch. Then they played with their water guns, and then they decorated their cakes, and finally their cookies to take home with them. It was a Saturday. Well, the next Monday, the kids would not stop raving about how fun the party was and how it was the best birthday party ever. The other kids were not happy about not being invited. Well, tough shit. Tough shit. Tough shit.
That must be super fucking hard for you.
Tough shit. Sorry, I have very little sympathy. At pickup on Tuesday, a couple moms confronted me about not inviting their kids. I said that I am sorry, but it was a small party for his close friends only. They kept complaining to me about excluding their kids. I didn't take it seriously then, but now it's a new school year, almost 6 months later, and I'm still getting the occasional comment thrown at me. No, absolutely not. The son is 8, so they're all 8 years old probably. I hate I don't know if it's a trend. I don't know if it's like an expectation of when your kids are little, inviting every single person to their birthday party. Like that is you only do that if your kid has no fucking friends. So then at least somebody might show up to the birthday party. You know what I mean? Like, no. Because that's not a requirement when you're a fucking teenager or in middle school. It's only a thing to make elementary school kids feel better about themselves. And honestly, I can't think of a better time to teach kids that they need to make friends in order to get benefits out of it, because otherwise they're just going to expect to be invited to everyone's birthdays all the time. Plus, not to mention, the reason she didn't invite everyone was because she can't fucking afford to have 20 to 30 kids at her house. You know what I mean? Yeah, still, the only ones who are bitching about it are the parents. Like, if her son hasn't come to her saying that other people are upset at him about it, then it's clearly you're not the asshole, because the kids don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, they'll be sad for a week that they didn't get to have fun at a party, but they'll fucking forget about it and move the fuck on, because they're children. Children move on. Not the asshole, you invited 5 children. I'm honestly boggled at any parents that think it's okay to confront you about the fact that their child was not invited. That is absurd. Maybe times have changed, but when I was in school, it was pretty uncommon for the entire class to be invited to a birthday party. Most kids just had their close friends. Yeah. Yeah, I really blame television and educators not wanting to deal with jealousy. If you invite a whole group of people while at school, you have to invite the whole class, or it's unfair. Did not exist when I was in elementary school. It's crazy. Should have asked them for their bank account info because you feel excluded from their finances. Most of the time they move on. I held a grudge for about or two about not being invited to a party once or twice or thrice or fourth or fifth. I had a grudge about not being invited to a birthday party, but it was because it was one of my best friends, and I was one of their best friends, and they hadn't invited me, and then specifically talked about it with one of their other friends while sitting next to me on the bus, and later found out that they didn't invite me because they didn't think I'd have fun because I'm not really friends with their other friends. That's like one of the few times in my childhood that I let something get to me, and that relationship basically ended after that because they were really shitty about it. So, you know. I think I had bigger parties when I was younger, but I think the class was only like 15 people. Yeah, in the US, that's not how that works. The class sizes are fucking massive here. Unless you live in like a really rural area. Not the asshole, I wouldn't invite the whole class either. They loved it because it was different, and if nobody told you as of late, you were an awesome mom. Genuinely, that sounds like a party I'd want to have for my birthday. That sounded like loads of fun. Not the asshole. Fantastic parent, though. Well, I'll be at work on my birthday, so I think we were at 35 people in my secondary school. I'll make the cupcakes. All right. Sorry. Am I the asshole for refusing to dye my daughter's hair because her school complained? My daughter, 15, dyed her hair dark reddish brown for her birthday. I didn't let her dye her hair in middle school, but she said she could in high school. The school has a dress code for hair that just specified natural hair colors only, which I took to mean browns, blondes, reds, black, etc., especially a dark red. Basically natural tones. Her natural hair is black, but I don't think it's much of a change. The hairdresser that did a bleaching on her hair said it was not light enough to cause significant damage. But then one of the teachers in the beginning of October last year began complaining to me during parent-teacher meetings that her hair didn't meet dress code. I said her hair color grew out of people's heads, so why was it out of dress code? She told me that it was clearly not her natural hair color, and I shot back tons of her students that I saw that evening had blonde hair and highlights when they were clearly natural brunettes. She claimed that they looked like they could be blonde, but my daughter's hair was supposed to be black. My daughter is Asian, so it's pretty racist to say that she can't dye her hair, and I brought it up with the principal, but he agreed with her, saying it was against dress code. I saw tons of white kids in her class with obviously brown hair that dyed it blonde and even red, but no one said anything. They wanted me to darken her hair again so it looks natural. This went on until the end of the school year. I contacted the superintendent several times, but she never got back to me. It's almost the start of the school again, and I get an email from the principal reminding me my daughter is only allowed black hair. She still had her reddish brown hair and doesn't want to dye it back, but I've tried to fight it. The last thing to do is barge into the superintendent's office and demand she gets involved. Yeah, I would too. This is clearly racism. Also, what kind of school has a dress code for hair? Because the only schools in the U.S., anyways, that have dress codes are private schools or, like, religious schools. Yeah, this is just straight racism. Yeah, private schools do. Public schools here don't. Unless it's like a Christian school, but I would kind of, like, religious schools obviously do, but I kind of lump them in with private schools. Because they often are private schools to be religious, so. Live in the U.S., go talk to the ACLU about your daughter's rights being infringed upon because she's Asian, not the asshole. Yeah, agreed. This sounds like a rule because basically you must have a hair color consistent with your racial profile, which should obviously not be okay. These people's heads would explode if they found out Asian people do have reddish brown hair on occasions. Public schools have stuff like this too. It's just less common, mostly for black hairstyles though. Yeah, they do have like restrictions on what you can do with your hair, especially for black people. But it's very, like, schools have dress codes, but not like strict dress codes. Like, just like you can't have like spaghetti straps on your shoulders, and you know, stuff you have to be covered up, you know, like it's but you can basically wear whatever you want. It's not like uniforms, if that makes any sense. And this sounds like the kind of place that has uniforms. If they're this strict about hair coloring, they've got to have uniforms as well. So we got to go to class on Friday in street clothes, and that was a big deal. But there was an unwritten rule to come in like designer shit, which was basically the Friday uniform. Gross. Yeah, I didn't mean to say that public schools don't have dress codes. They do, but it's just not this strict most of the time. So, although they like to be really stupid about it. So, not the asshole. Contact your city's newspaper and inform a reporter about the school's racism. The reporter will contact the school's district PR person for info. I promise you'll hear from a district representative quickly. The principal will be mad you at nuclear, but he'll have had his butt renamed. Or reamed, sorry. Public humiliation works much faster than the legal system. Yep. Yeah, I know most UK schools, if not all of them, have uniforms, right?
Concerned about that.
I don't see why not. Did you order it? Is it an Amazon? Is it Amazon brand?
No.
Oh. I'd check the return rules for the company you bought it from.
It was Prime though. It was Prime. So
Yes, I know, but the distributor are the ones that have to give you the refund.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Although if you ordered it on Prime, it might actually be up to Amazon to give you the refund. To be honest.
I think if it's Prime, it's up to Amazon. I just don't want to cut this open and then not like.
What even are they?
They're belts.
Oh,
for
they're
dresses,
belts.
because this is entirely black, and I don't know. I have to wear a dress to church.
Seeing you in a dress bothers me.
Well, I like dresses sometimes.
I know, but it still bothers me. It might just be my personal affinity for, or not affinity, my personal dislike of dresses, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to wear a dress to the church. It's not like a spoken rule, but like it's a thing because it's a.
Catching me in jeans and a t-shirt if I'm at church.
But I'm trying to do something that makes this not a black dress, so I don't look like I'm going to a funeral. So.
But you are. Jesus is dead, Max. God is dead. You're going to a funeral.
That's gonna bother you. I'm gonna put on the heels.
No. Why would you do this to me? Oh. Seeing your dykey self in a dress bothers me. I came across a TikTok recently of this girl who was dressing up her mask girlfriend and as a femme, and it was so disturbing. It was very disturbing. I hate it.
I don't walk gracefully though.
No, you don't. I mean, do you normally walk gracefully?
A little more gracefully. I hit my head on the car door today. That's how much I need new glasses.
Well, isn't that what's happening last time, right before you got new
Yeah.
glasses? You kept whacking your head on the thing. Are we sure you don't have brain damage from that? Maybe that's what's
I
causing
don't
some of your
know.
problems. Huh?
Maybe. So yeah, but these add at least a little bit of color. So
At least
I'm
it's a
not
wedge,
Going
huh?
to a funeral. Yes, it's a wedge.
You do look like you're going to a funeral, though. It's kind of great.
Do I?
It's kind of great.
I know. I don't want to look like I'm going to a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
At least you don't have to see it.
Yeah.
I'm having to look at it. Jimmy said this is going to look weird. You don't have to see it.
What? Me wearing a dress?
And heels, yes.
Well, they can see me wearing a dress.
I'm not going to subject them to that. That wouldn't be fair to them. They haven't signed up for this. Huh? They already have to look at my face. They shouldn't also have to look at that.
I'm glad I bought this dress though, because I do have to wear something like reasonably nice to the church.
I am.
so-
You look fine in the dress. I just
Yeah.
don't like how dresses
You
look.
just don't like how they look.
I just hate it. I hate it. I'm not trying to make you feel bad about it. You look fine. I just hate everything about it. Jimmy says I'm interested. No, you're not.
You're interested in seeing Max in a dress?
No, you're not. Don't be
Max is
interested.
wearing one.
It's disturbing.
The one problem with this dress is that it's like one sheet of material, so it like statics to my legs. But
I mean, you'll be wearing shorts under it, so that might help with the static a
why
little
would I
bit.
wear shorts under it?
You're not trying to flash everyone at the church, are you?
That's their fucking problem. It's not like it's like upper thigh length.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Dykes and dresses just confuse me and
I'm
concern
not a
me.
dyke, I'm a chapstick lesbian. It's not a dyke.
Have you seen yourself?
I'm not a dyke. I guess the clothes I was wearing to work are kind of dykey.
Yeah.
They're kind of dykey.
You were dressed like Cara fucking Danvers when she goes to work. Huh?
Yeah.
No one dresses dykier than Cara Danvers at work. Huh?
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you. I just needed to.
The downsides with dresses, yes. The
Yeah.
static and the lack of pants. Huh?
I don't know. I like this. Plus, I really like the rebellion of having hairy legs.
Mm.
The hair is
You
pretty
can't tell.
light, but like if you get close to me and you look down, you see.
I can't hardly see it from here, so.
I have hairy legs. It's a rebellion.
Do you?
Yes.
Even you could see my
Stop
like hair
stealing
from
my
over there.
joy. Stop stealing my joy.
Well, you have hairy legs, but I can't tell, so
Yeah.
it's a secret win, which are sometimes the best wins. Secret rebellion.
Oh, do you want me to put on a cardigan so I look even more feminine?
Oh my god. Are you trying to kill me, Max? Huh? I think Max is trying to kill me. Or make me kill myself. One of the two. Either way, successful. I just hate dresses. Partially because I was forced to wear them growing up. But also just Max. I'm not used to Max in dresses. So it's really bizarre.
I've worn dresses in front of you.
Not very often, though.
No, not very often.
Only on, like, special occasions when we go to a wedding or something, which has been, like, twice. 3 times? 3 weddings? We've been to 3 weddings together. Right? Aaron's, Brooks's, and...
We didn't go to Brooks's wedding.
Oh, no, I went in a suit. You weren't with me
Yeah,
for
you
that.
went in a suit and you posted a picture of it to the group chat and I thirsted.
Yes, you weren't with me for that.
But I thirsted.
I just can't imagine... Yeah, we're gonna cut Max's hair today, so yeah.
Yes. So I'm gonna have short hair with the dress.
Yeah, I hate everything about this. You look like you're trying to go to church, and that's disturbing. And I know that's why you're wearing
Yeah.
it.
I also have pearls.
I think that's another
Pearls.
reason, is it kind of triggers
hurt
me
you?
because it reminds me of your RUF days, which weren't fun days for you,
I know
so...
what will hurt you more.
No, don't put on any makeup, I swear to God.
I don't have makeup.
Thank fuck. Huh? The trauma days. Huh? You're just watching me suffer, you don't have to see what I'm seeing. Huh? It's very different, and so it's disturbing. It's about as disturbing as, like, going back and watching an old video of mine pre-transition and pre-coming out. It's like that. It's like something's wrong. It's very wrong. We going 80s church with pearls? I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out.
Did I make it worse?
You called it, Jimmy.
What did Jimmy say? Something about jewelry?
He said we're going 80s church with pearls.
Yes.
I hate. You look like an old lady.
I don't mind the dress with the pearls.
You look like
without
an
the
old lady.
cardigan. I don't look like an old
The
lady.
pearls without the cardigan doesn't work.
Does it not?
Not in my mind, no.
Okay.
But with the cardigan, I think that looks fine.
Okay. They look better if I did them all the way up. Like up here.
I think you should wear them backwards. Then they,
Like this.
yeah, it's very. If it had a cross on the end of it, that'd be perfect.
What that?
Yeah, if it was like a backward, like the cross, it was a cross on the.
Look more like a rosary.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if I wore a rosary.
There's a small part of me that wants a rosary. They look kind of dope. Huh? I'm not gonna lie to you.
I kind of want to look at it with the clasp show.
I hate everything about this, Max.
What is?
It's disturbing. It's like going back and watching an old video of me. It's weird. Right? It looks better with the clasp showing. You look less like an old lady. Old ladies like to cut their hair short. I'm just saying. You're just not gray. That's the only difference. You're not gray and wrinkly. But old ladies are little. Generally tend to cut their hair shorter. Generally speaking. Old white ladies, anyways. Maybe not quite as short as Max has it, but, you know, still. Oh, the fan being open is nice. Having direct fan pushing at me is great. Jimmy said if you want a second and third opinion, Max, instead of taking this negative criticism. I think Max looks fine. I don't think anyone else is going to make fun of Max. It's just disturbing to me. And it's partially skewed by my disliking of dresses in general on like most people. If I had to choose see woman in suit or see woman in dress, I'm going to choose woman in suit. I don't care who the woman is. Pick one. I don't care.
Well, I'd also choose woman in suit.
Yeah.
I don't want a femme.
Yeah. Femme stuff just makes me uncomfortable, and that's what you're going for here, and it's weird. I know you like to dress femme sometimes, but it's still it's rare. So you know how I am with change. It also reminds me of Baby You before you really like came into yourself.
Okay. Well, when I try to return the package that I came in here originally for, that was the purpose for me coming in here.
The belts, yes.
It doesn't say anything about it has to be in the original package, so I think it's
That should be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for them to expect you to do that when they have it in a vacuum sealed package. So.
Right. Yeah.
What about black metal band shirts with cut off sleeves that show off tattoos? That's a shirt. That's not a dress. Huh? What? That's a stupid question. That's just a shirt. Huh?
I'm gonna leave you alone now because you're not gonna be helpful in like deciding which belts I like. So.
I'm good at color theory.
I still don't feel like you're gonna be helpful. I might come in here and show you.
I'm good at color theory. I'm good at knowing what colors look good together.
Back to your Reddit.
Okay. I'm about to read an asshole one.
Ooh, delightful.
Yes. And yes, of course, I want a lady at a black metal band shirt that shows off her tattoos. That's what I want. See, I border along the lines of finding masked women hot, but also not wanting them to be more masked than me. Because as a trans person, as a trans guy, I'm struggling with my own masculinity. So if I've got a sexy, you know, masked lady with me and she outmasks me, you know, I don't want to be outmasked by my lady, you know, at least until I get like some facial hair and feel a little bit more comfortable in my body, maybe after top surgery and stuff, you know. But like, I find masked women so attractive. I don't know if it's just leftover lesbianism or what, but you know. OG thinks my questions are stupid, not like I already struggle with confidence and body issues. I'll just shut up then. I said I don't like dresses, and you asked, what about cut-off t-shirts? And those are two different things. I call out everyone when they ask stupid questions. Huh? Like this person asking if they should have eaten their cupcake outside. No, you should never eat anything outside. You're a terrible person. Asshole. I don't even need to read the rest. Why would you ever want to eat outside? Genuinely. This is a genuine question. The most recent time I've eaten outside was when Max and I went to Kings Island recently. But before that, I couldn't tell you the last time I ate outside willingly. And I did even eat outside willingly this time. It's just that's the only place you can eat at Kings Island. It's like outside. There's a couple of inside places, but they're like $8 billion. So, you know. Yes. Pretty much, yeah. The accuracy. I really don't. I ran out of fucks to give a long time ago. I blame retail. I also just don't like being fake, and I feel like the only way to not be fake is to give no fucks, even if I come off as mean sometimes. Like, when I tell Max I don't like how they look in a dress, I don't mean that to make them feel bad. I just personally, my eyeballs are not a fan. Doesn't mean they look bad in it. I just personally don't like how it looks. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a negative comment on how Max looks. I just have a skewed view on how people look in dresses because I don't like dresses. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean Max actually looks bad in the dress. It just, I don't like how it looks. Does that make sense? Like, my own personal taste gets in the way of how I feel about things sometimes. So, or how I, not feel about, but like review things sometimes. For the matter of chat, if I say anything, it will be to Jimmy and not me. Okay. I'm tired of yawning. It's really annoying. Okay. Am I the asshole for eating my cupcake outside? I have a 10-year-old daughter who loves frosting. I'll keep that in mind, Jimmy. I have a 10-year-old daughter who loves frosting. Every week I buy cupcakes for me, my wife, and her. And she always eats my frosting. These past few weeks, I decided to eat my cupcake before going inside. She asked me where my cupcake is, and I told her I don't like cupcakes anymore, so I only bought 2. So you're lying to your child. Good job. It worked for a while, but last night when I was enjoying my cupcake before going inside, she caught me and ran to her mom to tell her how much of a terrible dad I am to steal her frosting for weeks. She is sulking, and my wife thinks that I'm the asshole and acting childish. I should just let her have it, but it's easy for her to say when she's never given up her frosting. Am I the asshole? Are you a child or are you an adult? Because, first of all, if your 10-year-old child is crying over frosting, you've not done your parenting very well. And if you can't tell your kid, no, I'm going to eat my frosting, you can eat your frosting, because I'm assuming her cupcake has frosting on it too. And don't let Jimmy make sure Rot knows that to not let you fool them into thinking that you're a nice person, because you and I are the same person, so you know. You've cried over cupcake shit, but that's because you were wretchedly spoiled. Yeah, my sister for a while, I don't remember what age she stopped crying over it, but she would get, you said I'm a nice person. Lies! My sister would cry when we would blow out the candles on a birthday cake. Even if it wasn't her birthday cake, she would cry until we would let her blow them out. I don't remember what age that stopped, but I think it was like maybe 6 or 7. I don't remember, though. It's been a long time. But that's like a her issue, you know? I'm sure I did stupid shit like that too, but I can't imagine crying over not getting bonus frosting at the age of 10. Let's see what the comments are saying before I read the extra stuff. You're the asshole, not for eating your cupcake outside really, but because you have failed to teach your child that she can't always get what she wants, or that she isn't entitled to your frosting. That's your cupcake, frosting and all. She has her own, and that she's allowed to have. Yep, my sister-in-law made this terrible habit of letting her son have the last bite of everything she had. Well, we were at dinner, and mother-in-law hands out ice cream sandwiches for dessert. Nephew was still eating his when mom finished hers, so she just ate it all. He didn't notice until he'd eaten all his ice cream and looked around to see who still had some ice cream to share with him, and he screamed bloody murder when everyone ate their ice cream because nobody shared theirs with him. Even though he already had one, just like everyone else, he felt entitled to other people sharing theirs with him too. It was a hard lesson that day. The sad thing is that the poor kid comes off as an entitled brat, but it's not even really their fault. Exactly. You can teach her the word no at 10. She should be able to understand it. My baby is 1, and she already understands that no, she can't always eat mommy's food. She doesn't like it, but she understands it. Even my dogs understand this. Yeah. Okay, let's read the updates. Edit. Everyone is taking this very seriously. My daughter is not an entitled, spoiled brat. Honestly, I think she doesn't even love frosting that much. She only does it to annoy me. I made this post because my wife likes this sub, so I wanted to show her that I'm not the asshole. Well, that didn't work. Edit 2. A lot has happened since this post here. My wife is getting a divorce. She says she can't live with a liar. CPS came to our home to take our child away. They said that we are terrible parents for letting our child eat frosting, but by the time they got here, our daughter wasn't home. Why? Because the cops came and arrested her for stealing. Okay, so you're full of shit. So my daughter and I had a serious conversation about this problem, and we came to an agreement. She said she'll stop stealing my frostings if I stop stealing her chips, so we're good. My cat doesn't, no matter how hard we try. Whenever chicken is opened, not even cooked, instantly meowing. Yeah, that's a cat for you. OP, I know you think we're all overreacting to your post, and I agree in the grand scheme of things, this is a minor offense. I will say please stop and think for a second about whether or not she portrays this behavior in other areas too. If your daughter is acting like this in regards to a cupcake, I bet there are other instances where your daughter acts entitled, like a little bit bratty. Why you think it's funny and cute may be an issue her teachers have to deal with and her other friends. I just say this because I have family and friends who are teachers, and often when they go to the parents about problematic behavior, the parents have always defend the kid or think teacher is overreacting. Also, as a mom of 2 kids, I've seen kids come to my house, act super bratty, and the parents knowingly allow this behavior because they think it's not a big deal. I don't know your family, so this may not be the case in this scenario, but I worry that you are missing why some of the comments are a little harsh. Her behavior sounds like a child who is in need of some boundaries and some lessons on respect. We could all be wrong, but just asking you to think about it. Especially at 10 years old. It's unacceptable behavior at 10, to be honest. All right. God, I love this song. Okay. Am I the asshole for sending my boyfriend a photo of me at the hospital? I, 20 female, was recently admitted to a hospital for the night due to a serious but non-life-threatening illness. I was completely out of it for several days with horrible pain before my roommate convinced me to get medical help. She took off work to stay with me in the hospital, and I cannot express how much her support has helped me as my own family lives too far away. You can't even hear the music? Oh, well. It's just supposed to be background noise. It's not meant to really be heard. It's just louder in my ears because I can control the volume of it with my microphone, so. Yeah, exactly. That's why I have it low, so that it's not interrupting. Especially since this one has, like, lyrics. The lyric ones can be interrupting sometimes. It's usually fine when I'm playing games, but when I'm talking, sometimes the lyrics can be distracting, especially for someone like me who has ADHD. So that's why I keep the thing low. Yes?
I know what to do. I wear this rainbow wrist band.
You're welcome.
Yes. That's what I do. I wear this dress.
You wear it as the belt?
But I wear... It's not gonna fit around my fucking waist.
Can you imagine? You just go and walk into church wearing a rainbow belt.
Walk into my parents'
that says love is love on it.
Wearing a rainbow wristband.
Are you going to put it on the love is love side or the rainbow side?
I don't know. Doesn't really go with...
Because you could just like the Jesus is rainbow. You know, the rainbow that God gave us to say he would never flood the earth again, even though he definitely should.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty casual.
Mm-hmm.
Except that it clearly says love wins.
That's the idea. See, I have mine. Mine says human. Wow. Is it upside down? Yeah. Human. Right. You can't see it anyways, but, you know.
Okay, sorry. I'll,
Are you going to shower now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me know when you get out of the shower, and I'll end my stream so we can cut your hair and everything.
Okie dokie.
Max starts getting preached at instantly by the whole congregation. They start an exorcism on you.
I mean, I don't know. I just think that about my parents' homosexual daughter?
Are you their daughter?
That's what they think. The church certainly doesn't know anything different. I am the homosexual daughter.
One of many.
One of many.
Mhm,
One
mhm.
of many. Okay, you keep doing your thing.
Have fun.
Will do.
Feel free to take your time in the shower, since you don't. I mean, you usually do, but like.
Yeah, because usually I dissociate in the shower. So that's why I'll take like a 20-minute shower and literally only wash my hair because I dissociated for like at least 15 of those 20 minutes.
So you can wash yourself faster than that.
I can, I just can't.
That's why I play music in the shower, so that way I don't get distracted and stuck in my thoughts. That's why sometimes when I shower after you go to bed, I end up in the shower for like 30 minutes because I get caught in my thoughts and I'm just standing there. Because I can't put on music because you're asleep and I don't want to wake you up. And I don't feel like dealing with it, trying to make it where it's not too loud to wake you up, but so loud enough I can hear it. And it's, What are thoughts, Jimmy asked.
What are thoughts? What thoughts do I think?
No, what are thoughts?
What are thoughts?
Question mark.
I don't know.
Piles of garbage are what thoughts are. Trash.
Because we think thoughts to think about what thoughts are. So our thoughts are defining what thoughts are.
So we cannot trust that source. It is a
Can
biased
we-
source.
Can we trust?
I think I might have a song stuck in my head, but I rarely have thoughts. Must be nice to live without ADHD. Or OCD. I never get
Wait,
stuck
who doesn't
thinking.
have ADHD?
Jimmy.
Jimmy doesn't have ADHD?
Yeah, I know, it confuses
But
me
you
too.
guys are like in every other way. Jimmy, are you sure? Are you sure?
Rot said, I think about thoughts.
I see. Thinking about thoughts doesn't.
No. Thoughts.
Oh, thoughts. Okay.
Mhm,
See, I can't read it. Yes. Mild ADHD.
So undiagnosed ADHD.
Oh, you had to permit the term thoughts.
I did, yes. It's not ever been used in chat before, so it's one of the ones on like the list that Twitch just auto flags. I don't have a list of ones that it flags. I have like 2 words, I think, or a couple terms flag that I have set to flag that I've come across, but I know Twitch has like a list that it'll auto flag for you that you have to approve or deny, which is why it grabs things like thoughts. Rot mentioned a dildo earlier, so I had to approve that one. So
I was talking in PB's chat, and his automog flagged the word colored because someone was talking about darker colored sodas like colas and stuff, and it flagged colored. I think colored or darker, but I'm thinking colored is the flag.
That's so funny, actually.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I acknowledge Jimmy and Max, but I'm still mad at the other guy. Rod is mad at me because I told him their question was stupid earlier.
What? Very few questions are stupid.
I said I don't like dresses, and they said, what about cutoff tees? How are those two things related?
Those are different.
Exactly. That's why I said it was a dumb question. It's not related. Especially when the tees are cut off to show off tattoos. Even more reason to wear a cutoff tee.
Cut off like crop tops or like
No, cutoff
tank
tee.
tops with the
That's
that are
how I
like t-shirts
understood
with
it.
the sleeves cut off.
Yeah, sleeves
Yeah.
cut off, yeah.
Okay.
Must be a boring stream then. The streamer is only in the room a few minutes. I am always here.
Okay, I leave.
Okay, bye.
Bye,
Unless you're
guys.
talking about Max.
I think there was a conversation about me. I would never, just quite frankly.
Stream?
Yes, I can barely bear the sound of my own voice. I couldn't imagine purposefully putting it out there so other people could hear it. Like, I just genuinely can't imagine that. I hate myself so much that I can't imagine having the level of even fake confidence that it takes to stream.
Oh, another valid reason for cutoff tees is if you're muscular. Especially a muscular lady. Muscular men can fuck off. Okay, bye. Shower. You can leave it open a little more than that. It's kind of warm in here. The sun's coming in through the window, warming shit up. Thank you. Max stream would be the best stream. I know, I'm aware. Thank you.
What?
Rot said Max stream would be the best stream.
Aww.
I'm aware. That's what
Thank you,
everyone
Roz.
thinks. That's what everyone believes. We're gonna do it eventually where I make you play GeoGuessr with me on stream.
I will do that, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to find a time to do that. Maybe a weekend stream?
Yeah, it might have to be a weekend stream.
Mm-hmm. Before I get my job. Although, you're gone the next 2 weekends. So, and then I start my
I
job.
won't be gone the whole weekend after this. I'll just be gone Friday night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we can do a Saturday or Sunday stream.
Yeah. Because trying to start a stream after you get off work would be annoying and late.
And I'd be really exhausted, so I wouldn't be really, like, a happy, bubbly person. As if I am normally.
Okay, bye.
Fine.
I work this weekend, don't do it yet. It would be next weekend. Max is out of town this weekend, so I'll probably be streaming anyways. Or no, I'll probably watch The Boys this weekend. Because I'll have the weekend to myself, so I'll have a lot of free time to do that. I need to start my training, though. I've got training for Amazon that I need to start, although it's only a few hours of stuff, so I'll probably do it next week, so that I don't, like, forget any of the information before I get there, you know? Okay. Alright, so back to this. I'm gonna start over, because it's been a second. Am I the asshole for sending my boyfriend a photo of me in the hospital? I, 20 female, was recently admitted to a hospital for a night due to a serious but non-life-threatening illness. I was completely out of it for several days with horrible pain before my roommate convinced me to get medical help. She took off work to stay with me in the hospital, and I cannot express how much her support has helped, as my own family lives too far away. I win. Now, I've been dating Sam, 19 male, for about 9 months. He knew I was sick, so I texted him when I first was going to the hospital to update him. Since he was working, he didn't read the message until much later. I sent him around 6 texts updating him with what the nurses were saying and including a photo of me on IV giving a thumbs up. It was my first ever time in the hospital, and I just wanted to keep the shitty situation as lighthearted as possible. He responded a few hours later with a thumbs up, and that was all. I asked if everything was all right, and he said, yeah, you just being in the hospital is giving me a lot of anxiety. I'd rather not see you looking like that. I told him that that was okay and didn't message him for the rest of the night, not thinking much of it. I mean, that's fair. Hospitals stress a lot of people out, especially when it's someone you care about in the hospital. Jimmy, you're my mod. You're supposed to fight for me, not the other way around. The next afternoon, his mom called me asking if I was okay. She had the impression that I sent him the hospital photo after he told me not to share any information and was disrespecting his request. She reminded me that his grandfather only died a year earlier, where Sam had to spend a lot of time in and out of the hospital, so the updates were making him grieve all over again. I apologized to her and sent him a text saying that I didn't mean to hurt his feelings, and he left me unread. My roommate thinks I didn't do anything wrong at all, and he's being too sensitive or immature for involving his mom. Absolutely. Personally, I think it's a bit unfair, as he was really close with his grandfather and struggles with anxiety. I feel really, really guilty, as I know how mental health can be and never want him to suffer. Am I the asshole? You know what you need to do? You need to put him...
Get in the bin.
In the bin. Because you followed his request. It's fair to send updates to your significant other when you're in the hospital. That's kind of something you should do. Unless it's expressed to you prior that that's something they don't want. And when he told you that was something he does not want, you stopped doing it. And then he brought his mom into the situation. Oh, it looks like that's what happened. This morning, I woke up to a text from Sam asking for a break. He told me he needs to focus on himself and that there's too much drama in this relationship. I agree. I've been with Sam through all of his anxiety attacks, holding him crying in my arms more times than I can count. He's never done the same for me. I've made excuses over and over again for this behavior. I've begged him to go to therapy, and he's always refused. The hospital stay and your comments have been eye-opening. Oh, and his mom, she reminded me to let go of my feelings and do what's best for me. I started up therapy because I'll be needing the support when you're gone. What? She reminded me to let go of my feeling and do what's best for me. I'm starting up therapy because I'll need the support once you're gone. His mom said that? I actually laughed out loud at that one. She hasn't reached out to me yet, and I hope she never does. My roommate and I are figuring out how to end things once and for all, so yep, that's it for now. Feeling a lot of emotions, but I know it's for the best. My roommate and I are figuring out how to end things with him, I assume? Because your roommate's the one who took you. Also, thank you so much to all the lovely Redditors who have given advice and wished me well. I'm doing much better and appreciated them. Yep. Called it. Yeah, he told mommy on you. Yeah. Not the asshole, this guy isn't ready to be an adult, let alone in a relationship. You were in the hospital, and rather than expressing concern, he talked about his own anxiety and then sent his mommy after you. Run. Yeah, I agree. Even if it's a sore spot, like, your significant other's in the hospital. You know, like, your job is to support them. So, I felt those red flags. I felt them. It's like lobsters, you've just measured him, he's not grown enough, put him back in the sea. I had one boyfriend, he was 26 at the time, who visited me once when I was in the hospital for a week. We'd been together 2 years and were living together. We didn't last. My next boyfriend was 21 when I was hospitalized. I was between their ages. On our first anniversary of meeting, he was in the hospital with me holding the cardboard chuck-up trays and visited every day. He was in the hospital with me, holding the cardboard chuck-up trays and visited every day. Both had difficult shift patterns. I'm still with number 2 now, 19 years later. Damn. You're not the asshole unless you break fishing law and don't return the baby lobster to the sea. That's amazing. I love that. Bye-bye, baby lobster. That's amazing. That's a fantastic post. Do I have any free stuff? I don't think I have any awards that I can give. No, I don't. Damn. Nope, not the asshole. I agree with the tag. Ooh, this sounds good. Juicy, juicy drama. Am I the asshole for crying at dinner on purpose to embarrass my dad and brother? I know the title sounds ridiculous, but there's context. I'm currently in high school and I live with my dad and brother. My mom's not in the picture anymore. While I'm not very close with my father, this is sad music, what the fuck? There we go. I don't know how it started. I'm so sorry. While I'm not very close with my father, he's not a bad dad. He's just a little old-fashioned, so he's closer to my brother, as they have the same hobbies. On to the problem. I don't know how it started, but for the past couple of months, both my dad and my brother will start teasing me about that time of the month anytime I even get remotely irritated or upset at them. Ooh, misogyny. For example, my brother ate a snack of mine that I was saving, and when I got mad, he just joked, "Oh no, it's that time again," in a super annoying voice. I kept trying to tell them separately and together that is really annoying and offensive, and I feel like they're totally minimizing how I feel about things, as I had a valid reason for being annoyed about it. They just brush it off even more and chalk it up to my period no matter what time of the month it is. Well, yesterday we had dinner. Oh, sorry, puberty. Well, yesterday we had dinner with my whole family on my dad's side for my aunt's birthday. Before the dinner, I got in a huge fight with my brother because he broke my iPad, and instead of apologizing, he just said the whole time of the month thing. I can admit by the time we got to my grandma's house, I was pretty pissed. My cousin asked what was wrong during dinner, and before I could explain, my brother interrupted with, "Oh, it's just lady problems." I usually just ignore him or hold things up, but I had enough and just started bawling. I can admit that I kind of went ham on purpose to cause a scene, and it freaked my whole family out. My aunt asked my dad why I was so upset, and when he didn't know, I told my aunt, "It's just lady reasons," according to dad and brother. My aunt and grandma were pissed at dad and brother, so they totally got reamed at the dinner table. It was a whole thing, and I could tell they were super embarrassed. Later that night, my brother and dad said I was an asshole for causing a scene and embarrassing them, but I said that I was just acting like how they always say I do. I guess I didn't have to do it during dinner, but it wasn't like I planned it. Honestly, we love it. We love petty revenge. Genuinely, we love it. We genuinely love it. For some reason, I genuinely tend to zone partially out for the main threads. I only fully pay attention to the replies. Not the asshole. They open the door and you charge through. They are literally using sexist, demeaning bullshit to belittle you and rug sweep. You are a child. Your father is not. You needed help with their asshole behavior. You got it. Good for you. Seriously, that's what was needed. Now get your hands on a gigantic calendar. Hang it where everyone can see. Mark big red X's when you have your period. And then ask why in an appropriate version of, "Well, fuck it. You two treat me like shit and blame my period when I get mad." The least I can do is give you a calendar that tells you when you are right and when you are being idiotic. Yep. Also, not everyone gets super emotional on their periods. I didn't back when I had them. At least not until I started getting dysphoric about it, and that shit made me depressed. But I never had like proper like emotional PMS. The only PMS and stuff I would have was like acne or like being tired, you know, the like simple things. I never got angry or more likely to cry or anything like that. Hold on, Max's alarm is going off. But I don't know if they have their phone with them. So they're in the shower, so they won't be able to stop it. Hold on. It's gonna annoy the fuck out of me if I don't pause it. Never mind, it's in the bathroom with them, so oh well. Guess it'll ring. Guess it'll just ring, that's fine. Alright. That's fine, I can annoy Max too, because Max is the one who has to listen to it as well. Yeah, how's your brother not expected to at least apologize for breaking an iPad? But who will do all the cleaning around the house? Ooh, another juicy one. Am I the asshole for not helping my parents when they are homeless? My parents are terrible with money. When I, 27 female, was little, my father gambled away all the savings of about $100K in risky penny stocks, which got wiped out in 2008, and we were forced to move into a single bedroom in a house for the 3 of us. Then my mom fell for an MLM, and you can imagine what happened. They lost the down payment to the house they were saving for. I begged them not to sign up for it since I saw it was clearly a scam and showed them evidence it was, and they just laughed at me and ignored me. They lost about 28K from that. Then recently they fell for a college sign-up scam and lost 32K. They weren't signing up for college, they just needed a loan and tried to go through a private broker who promised to get them a school loan that they would use on whatever they wanted. I went with them to see the broker and told them it was a scam and they ignored me. So basically they were trying to scam the government and got scammed instead. I actually tried to pry a pin away from my father's hands when I got desperate as he was writing down his bank info and social security number. And he screamed at me that I was embarrassing him and did it anyway. Again, they lost the money, and now they are homeless because their credit is crap and they can barely afford even crappy apartments. They probably can't get that money back since they have little documentation on the broker and what he promised. Now they live in their car and are begging me for money. I have about 100K saved waiting to buy a house, and they know about it because I stupidly told them I was saving for a house, and now are calling me, showing up at my apartment, asking for money. They also want to move in the meantime, but my roommate and I agreed visitation from friends and family is max a week to prevent resentment, and if my parents move in, they probably will refuse to move out. They're going to food pantries, and honestly, I can't find it in myself to be that sympathetic since they don't listen to me until they need my money. Absolutely not. You know what needs to happen?
Get in the bin.
That's what needs to happen. Although it sounds like they kind of already are if they're living in their car, but... No, I'm not the asshole. Do not give them money. You know exactly what's going on. You know what will happen. You've had to write 3 solid paragraphs to get through the bad decisions they've made in the past. You cannot save them from themselves. They are a bottomless pit and they will bleed you dry and still end up homeless. Don't give them a cent. Don't let them through your door. Don't do laundry for them. Don't take them food. I've seen so many situations where kids who have worked hard to overcome their upbringings have been sucked back in and have ended up stressed with no money. You can probably tell it makes my blood pressure increase just to read your post. You must have worked hard to end up doing as well as you're doing, and they will drag you down if you give them an inch. Do not do it. Not 1 cent. This is not your fault, and you have no obligation to throw money away. Also, make sure your credit is on lockdown. Parents will typically have everything they need to open an account in their children's name. If you don't give them anything, and you shouldn't, they may take it upon themselves to get something from you. Lock it down. Yep, absolutely. 100% agree. Not the asshole. Go away. But I do recommend making sure to lock down your credit since your parents may very well have your social security number from previous years of tax returns, etc. Yeah. I'm sorry, but your instincts are right on the money. Your parents require help, but not the kind of help they want from you. For now, you're relatively safe thanks to the rule that you have with your roommate, but when you do get your own house, I consider not giving them your address to avoid harassment. They've ruined their lives, don't let them do the same to yours. Honestly. And frankly, I would hold off on that house purchase, move your down payment money to an account they don't know about, and keep living with your roommate. Once you have a house of your own, they will never stop. Yeah. These sound like the kind of people you need to cut off. Because honestly, they sound too stupid to be allowed your money. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. If you are dumb enough to fall for 3 different scams, you're too stupid to have money. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want from me. 1 scam is one thing. 2 scams is fine. 3 scams? No, you're too stupid to have money. I'm sorry. Losing money in penny stocks during the 2008 housing crash, I can kind of ignore that one. But your mom joined an MLM, and then they lost money from that, and then they tried to scam the government and got scammed in return. Like, no, absolutely not. Also, the fact that they lost $100K during the 2008 housing crash, that's impressive. Like, a lot of people lost a lot of money during that, but $100K? No. Don't give them an inch, like that other person said. Not a single cent. Alrighty. Let's take a drink. Am I the asshole for not buying my daughter concert tickets? My 16-year-old daughter Riley really does not like one of her teachers, Mrs. A. This was a bit surprising to me, as the teacher has a very good reputation, has helped out so many kids in bad situations, and is generally a nice person. But my daughter hates her. She'll rant about how annoying she is for ages, but she's never given an actual reason. I tell her that she's allowed to rant and all, but don't say things to her face, and try not to go too far either. I hated some teachers during my childhood that I now respect and understand, so I really didn't think this was a major issue. Well, I got a call from Riley while she was at school, and she was begging me to pick her up. I arrived immediately, but she refused to tell me what happened. She did crack eventually, though. She told me that Mrs. A was having a conversation with another student and mentioned one of her son's names. So Riley quickly looked them up on social media and went up to her teacher and asked if he was her son. Mrs. A said yes, hesitantly, and then Riley started laughing and said something really mean things about her son. To be specific, she called him anorexic and skeleton-like. You know how fast I don't beat my children? I would never beat my children, but you know how fast I beat my child? I'm firmly against capital punishment, or corporal punishment, sorry. Capital punishment, too. But unacceptable. And you know how fast my child would lose their phone? Do you know how fast I would take that phone and yeet it out the car while we're driving? No. Unacceptable behavior. You're being grounded for like 3 months. Absolutely not. Turns out the boy did not have anorexia. Mrs. A got upset and asked her to please work in the library for the remainder of the period. I was horrified, and it was clear my daughter was feeling apologetic, but Jesus Christ. This was insanely disrespectful. I told Riley she was grounded and she needed to apologize to Mrs. A immediately. I then told her I wouldn't be buying her concert tickets. She got really upset and was all like, how was I supposed to know? But that just makes me more upset because it would still be wrong even if he wasn't. Or even if he was. Which is what it should say, even if he was. She cried and cried about the concert and called me really mean. My husband thinks the grounding is fine, but the concert tickets, it's overdoing it. Absolutely not. If you're grounded, you don't get to go to fucking concerts. I'm not spending the money on that. And thinks I'm overdoing it. He thinks it probably isn't a huge deal because Mrs. A just sent Riley to the library and didn't send her to the office or anything, and I'm doing too much. I don't know. Am I the asshole? I don't know if it matters, but I had anorexia when I was younger, so I might be reacting emotionally. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, you should not buy her concert tickets ever. Ever. No. No. She made the comments with the intent to be hurtful. That the fact that one was close to the truth is moot. Absolutely not. Not only that, but she almost certainly looked at Mrs. A's son on social media with the express purpose of saying something hurtful about him. It's just so incredibly mean. It demands a strong response, not the asshole. Yeah. Not the asshole. Oh my god, please nip this in the bud and enforce the no concert tickets as a punishment. Your daughter is boldly and sociopathically abusing her teacher, or bullying her teacher. Get her a counselor ASAP to get to the root of why she's doing something so inexplicably cruel. I'm going to show these comments to my husband. I have a feeling it'll knock some sense into him. Then we're going to discuss counseling and how to move forward with our daughter. Good. Because I had to sit... I loved the majority of my high school teachers. A lot of them are really lovely. I had one in middle school who was just not good at her job and could not control her class. Like, she was a good teacher, but she had no control over her students, and that's really important. And I guess that's just because she didn't respect them. Multiple times she had to go get the science teacher to come in and yell at the class to get them to fucking behave. and watching my fellow students be really disrespectful and rude to each other, but also to the teacher, was really fucking annoying and really fucking sad. So I can't imagine letting my kids get away with that shit, especially with something this fucking severe. Like, no. No. A 16-year-old should know better. She didn't have to know if he was anorexic or not, but she did have to know that bullying people is wrong. Yeah, she should also know that anorexic should never be used as an insult. I was constantly asked by adults if I had an eating disorder when I was a kid. I didn't. I was just very skinny. But if I had $1 for every time I was asked if I had an eating disorder as a kid, I could fucking retire. Like, the fact that people think that's an okay thing to ask or joke about is just absolutely bonkers. Not even to mention the fact that these were full-grown adults most of the time that were asking me this. Like teachers and adults at work and shit like that would ask me if I had anorexia because I was very skinny. I was very skinny. I've shown photos of my younger self before. I was very small for a very long time. I'm still fairly skinny, but I was even skinnier than I am now, especially pre-puberty. And the fact that people think that's an okay question to ask will always blow my fucking mind, especially because they don't ask actual anorexic kids that question. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I knew a couple kids growing up who did have eating disorders, and they were never asked those questions, even though they were just as skinny as me. But I was asked all the time, and I was like, no, I eat as often as I can. I was taking Adderall, and that can sometimes cause weight loss. And because it can affect your like appetite and stuff. So I was only eating about 2 meals a day. I was eating breakfast and dinner because I wasn't hungry around lunchtime, because that's when I'd take my second dosage of meds, and so I wouldn't be hungry. But it wasn't affecting my weight because I ate really big breakfast and really big dinner. So it compensated. If I didn't eat lunch now, I would definitely notice. But back then, I had massive breakfast, massive dinner, because, you know, kids eat a lot of food. So that's always something that will baffle me. I don't think I've ever been in a well-behaved class, now that I reflect on it. I used to have my photos upload on a Pro-Ana live journal back in the day. I wasn't anorexic, and it was super weird, live journal. Most of the time, it was just a few people that annoyed the teachers in my class. There was really a moment that made it uncontrollable, probably a handful of times. Didn't you just eat a Pop-Tart the other day? Yeah, I don't eat big breakfasts these days because I'm generally not hungry in the mornings, or I feel kind of weird in the mornings. I know you're there.
Okay, just didn't want to scare you.
Yeah, no, I saw you walk in out of my peripheral, and I felt the increase of the blowing of the fan. See, that dress doesn't bother me as much. I don't know why.
This dress bothers me more. I feel more dysphoric in this dress. It's like a V shape instead of the other one that was just a cross.
Strange. I don't know, maybe because that one just covers more of your body. That's why it makes me feel less weird.
It doesn't, actually.
Does it not?
Well, it covers more with my shoulders.
Yeah.
These are much more church appropriate.
It comes down to about the same spot on the V as the other shirt does. It's just the other spaghetti straps over the top.
I hate it.
Which is fine. You're allowed to hate it. I'm not saying it looks better. It just makes me less uncomfortable.
It works for church more.
It definitely looks more churchy than the black one, but
I hate it a lot.
then don't wear it.
But I need to wear something because it's church.
No, you don't. Fuck church. You offered to go. You didn't offer to dress the part.
No, Mother requested that I go.
Yes.
And I said yes because there was no choice.
Yes. She requested you go. You said yes. You didn't say, yes, I'll go dressed as a nice little Christian child. Yeah, I tried to turn it off, but I realized you had it in your room. In your bathroom. It's really frustrating, though, that I don't tend to have an appetite in the mornings, because breakfast used to be my favorite meal. But lately I'll wake up and not really have the appetite to eat very big breakfast. But then that usually leads to me eating a fairly large dinner with Max, and then a follow-up dinner after Max goes to bed, because the dinner with Max is lunch for me, so.
I'm going to take off this monstrosity.
Okay.
But this is probably what I'm going to bring, because the black one doesn't look as church.
If I were you, I'd go dressed in what you went to work in.
But that's not very summery.
And? You're going to church. It's cold as fucking church.
Sometimes.
It's always cold in church. I have never been in a single church that's not been cold. Granted, I've not been in nearly as many churches as you, but I've still been in a lot of churches. It's always cold as ass.
I'll just wear a dress. It's fine.
Antarctica, it is.
I'll cosplay. It's just a cosplay.
Yeah, tell yourself what you need to.
I'm cosplaying as the daughter my parents wish they had. It's easy.
I'll make you both some Prime Chorizo.
Chorizo.
What is that? Oh. I do love me some sausage. I really do. That will kill your appetites. I imagine being a pleated flowery white and green dress. It's navy blue with yellow flowers.
Yeah, it's got yellow and pink flowers.
Yeah.
It's got kind of buttons up it, and it's got a little sash that ties to the side.
It is a V cut, but you can't really notice.
Yeah, it is a V cut, which I hate because it emphasizes that I have a female chest.
I didn't notice. I didn't
that.
notice you had titties, to be honest.
Is it because of the loud pattern that you didn't?
Yeah,
notice?
I didn't notice you had titties.
I noticed when I put it on.
Because it doesn't like cup your titties, because it goes straight down from your titties and then is wrapped with this. I think if you unwrapped this, I would notice it more because it's not like, because it's like tapered to your waist, you know. So it's not like it comes straight down and hangs straight down from your titty. It comes back into your waist, and I think that's why I noticed it less. Plus, it's not like you have a lot of titty for it to hang off of, so.
No. I like the black dress more, but
Then wear it.
I can't wear it.
You already said you'd go to church. You're already compromising your morals enough.
I don't know. I'll keep thinking about it. It's just the idea of going to church with my parents is incredibly depressing.
Yeah. And you're already having to do it anyways, so you might as well dress the way you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Because you're already going to have to sit through boring-ass church, so, you know.
Yeah.
Boring-ass Georgia church to make things even worse. I do love me some sausage. I don't pay attention to what kind of sausage I'm eating. If it's sausage, I'll eat it. So.
I'm gonna go put normal clothes on.
Okay. I'll wrap this up soon so we can chop your hair. So don't put on 2 normal clothes because we got to chop your hair, so.
Right. Yeah.
I do struggle with Spanish, which is funny because Spanish is the only language I've ever taken any classes on. But it's been many, many, many years. I took them in high school, so the first 2 years of high school also. So, all right, we'll do one more and then we'll call it a day. I had a Spanish flatmate in university that tried to get me to pronounce it right. I got it a few times, but it was tough, and nobody else would know what I was on about. What day? What do you mean, rookie? What are you talking about? Oh, we'll call it a day? Yeah, we'll call it the end of the day. The end of the stream. Sorry, the mild delay on chat sometimes gets me confused as to what we're talking about. Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter I won't be paying for her college unless she attempts a relationship with my family? I, 38 male, have a 19-year-old daughter, Ariel, with my ex-wife, Lauren, 39. We had Ariel too young, and it was a huge struggle. We moved into Lauren's family's, in with Lauren's family. I was working multiple jobs. Me and Lauren were best friends through all of this, but things ended when Ariel was 2. Lauren's friend, Tori, 38, told me that Lauren had been messaging guys, and when they went out, she would give out her number. I checked Lauren's phone and found it. I asked for a divorce. Lauren was pissed and wanted to reconcile. I didn't and got split custody. Okay. Lauren made my life hell. Lauren badmouthed me, would miss pickup times, and made decisions without talking to me. Her dad offered money to relinquish custody. I told him off. Ariel is now 19 and just started college. The deal was me and her mom would split it. I remarried Tori when I was... Oh, you married her friend, Lamel. I remarried Tori when Ariel was 6. Tori was a rock during the divorce, but we didn't date until 2 years later. Lauren used this to warp Ariel against Tori and our son, 13 male. She excludes them whenever she spends the night. How old is your daughter? 19, okay. She excludes them whenever she spends the night. She will just talk to me or go to her room if my family was around. Our son walks to the basement if she comes over. It hurts me a lot. I've spent thousands on therapy before people bring that up. It's still being utilized. But at this point, Ariel is being nasty for the sake of it. Her mom has convinced her I cheated with her friend and had a baby, which is funny because, as I've pointed out, the timelines don't even match up. I've done everything at this point, including family time, one-on-one, and therapy. Ariel is playing rude to them, and they are done trying. I think he's kind of already said this, but it's very clear that your ex has poisoned her against you. That happens, although she is 19 at this point. And she's been doing therapy, so she should understand at this point that her mom has been poisoning her against you. But Okay, let's see where this continues. Ariel graduated from high school in May and hosted a party. I was invited, but my family wasn't. I told Ariel that I found that disrespectful, so I'd send a card but would not be going. She didn't care, and we haven't spoken since. Then don't pay for a freaking college. I get a call from Lauren saying she's paid the first semester and was wondering when I'd be paying. I said I was no longer paying as I'm not pulling money out of my household when Ariel was disrespectful to 2/3 of it. My ex went off saying we had an agreement. I reminded her of when her dad tried to buy my custody and said, you have what you've always wanted, full control and custody. You won, so figure it out. I texted her that I've been putting up with this long enough. She got her 18 years of child support from me, so until she planned on setting the record straight that I was done with both of them, and blocked her. I called Ariel and told her the same. Gave the reasons that I'm not paying and told her she needed to look into loans, but I wouldn't pay for college if she at least tried to form a bond with my family because she created the situation with her attitude. So if she wants my help, she needs to attempt it. She started crying, but I didn't fall for it. Told her what my expectations were and to let me know what her plan is so I can move the money around. My wife is on my side here, saying we've been the bad guys long enough, but I'm getting shit from others. I'm glad your wife is on your side. It seems like she's a good person, and I'm glad you're standing up for your family because honestly, your son doesn't deserve that kind of treatment, and neither does your wife. Not the asshole. Everyone who's saying OP is the asshole, or everyone is the asshole needs to get off their high horse and put themselves in his shoes. His daughter treats him like an ATM, all the while disrespecting him. What's worse is she wants him to pay for college with money that will come from both him and his new wife, who she treats like shit. Like it or not, they are family, and if she refuses to be part of that family, she has no right to additional support from it. She can't have it both ways. He paid child support. He made sure she was taken care of growing up. Now she is an adult and has to deal with the consequences of her actions. For everyone who's saying anything other than not the asshole, you all know you would do the same thing in OP's shoes. Fucking people like to be morally outraged hypocrites these days, and this shit needs to stop. And to everyone saying he pulled the rug out from under her, seriously, people, maybe he made a promise to help her, but that doesn't allow her to act like an asshole. If you're an asshole to people in the real world, they wouldn't help you no matter that you promised. Why is it different for her father? Why is it different for her father? This is her mother's doing, and if her grandfather wants to buy out his custody of her, then it's her conniving mother can get him to pay for the college. Yeah. It's not his daughter's fault for thinking like this, but it's his ex's. It's his ex's, but it's not required for him to pay for her college or anything else when she has zero respect for him or his new family. I agree. Not the asshole. Ultimately, I think the situation is beyond the sub's pay grade, only because I think it'll be too evenly split to get a clear answer. I think you're giving the ultimatum to the wrong person, though. I'd call up your ex and tell her you'll pay half of the first year's tuition after you and your ex and your daughter sit down and your ex admits to everything. All the lies, what really caused the divorce, how she purposely ruined your relationship with your daughter. She most likely won't agree to it, but you can shift the hot seat to her a bit. I agree, although it seems like they've already kind of tried to do that because he said that they've done therapy and stuff for ages. So, you know. Yeah, and it does look like he said something along those lines. You're not the asshole, not for not paying your part of the agreement, but for... Oh, you're the asshole, sorry. For not paying your part of the... but for springing this on them now so late in the game. Forms for college grants and loans are due in winter for the following year, and is almost September when classes start. The tuition is due. You waited until the very last minute to give your daughter ultimatums, and now, when she's got nowhere else to turn, you threaten her entire college year. That is manipulative, exploitative, and... There are plenty of people who take a gap year. Shut the fuck up. Financial aid forms are submitted once a year. If you were a man of your word, you'd pay the share this year, as you agreed to. This is all weird stuff. Yeah, texting is still cheating. Texting and going on dates with other guys is cheating. What about part about that is weird? I think people are looking into this way too much. I don't think this was a long con done by her friend. The FAFSA has a date, but other ones don't, so. See, but it doesn't seem that's what's happening with the dad here. Because I've been poisoned against other family members by some other family members. So like, and the only reason that I was able to be poisoned against them was because the other people were trying to separate themselves from the poisonous people. And the only way to do that was to also separate themselves from me. So, you know, like, you know. This is too long of a comment. Yeah, you skipped over the family time, one-on-one time, and therapy your whole life. What more could he have done? Yeah, if he had not mentioned the therapy stuff, I'd kind of be agreeing with at least the everyone's the asshole thing, but he's tried. He at least tried to make it better before cutting them off. He paid for therapy and everything, which is way more than a lot of parents do. Okay, guess what? What? Good job. Very mature. I'm gonna say not the asshole for this one, but especially because you gave her a chance, you've done the therapy, or at least tried to do the therapy. She excluded your family from the high school graduation invite, and if she can't afford this year of college, she can't afford this year of college. There are plenty of people who take a gap year and get a job and save up money so they can afford college. I fortunately didn't have to do that because of grants and stuff that I had, but there are plenty of people who take a gap year specifically because they can't afford college. And there's also plenty of people who take a gap year because they want to get some work in before they start college. So, you know, if it's a male chicken, then it's a cockbutt. I mean, that's fair. I give up. Well, that's fine because the stream is almost over and we're going to go raid Joel's. I'm going with not the asshole on this one, though. Alrighty. Let's go raid Joel's. Alright, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you all tomorrow for something. And then, obviously, editing stream on Friday. You don't have to stay after we raid. That's not a big deal. Because I know a few of you will stay, some of you won't. I don't know if I'm going to stream tonight either. I'm probably going to finish The Boys Season 1 tonight, so I probably won't be streaming tonight. But I'll probably stream tomorrow night as well as during the day tomorrow. But we'll see how everything goes. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you very much. And yeah.